Have you ever been in a relationship where you felt like you were giving more than you were receiving, whether it be your time, money, or resources, without any meaningful return? As your energy and resources run dry, it's important to reflect on whether you're being mistreated. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Recognizing the signs of being used isn't about cynicism, but about self-preservation and cultivating virtuous relationships. In today's session, we'll explore the wisdom of Stoicism to offer you 13 essential insights that will help you determine if someone is taking advantage of you. Let's examine the subtle signs and strengthen our discernment to protect your peace and well-being. If you'd like more information on personal development, self-improvement, and living a more fulfilling life, kindly click the subscribe button below. Lesson 1. One-sided give and take. In a healthy relationship, giving and receiving should be balanced, much like a scale. Stoic philosophy emphasizes this balance as crucial for the longevity and fulfillment of any relationship. As the Stoic philosopher Seneca said, "It is not merely a matter of doing good, but of doing good to the right people." This means that our efforts should be appreciated and reciprocated. When the scales tip too far in one direction, and you find yourself constantly investing more time, money, emotional support, or material resources than you receive, it suggests a significant imbalance. This imbalance might be subtle, hidden by promises of future reciprocation, or the belief that your efforts are truly appreciated. Over time, such a dynamic can negatively affect your health and sense of self-worth. Consistent self-sacrifice, putting others' needs before your own without receiving anything in return, can lead to emotional exhaustion. Promises of future repayment without actions to fulfill them leave you feeling depleted, tired, and empty. Neglecting your own needs for others often results in feelings of being unappreciated, as if your efforts are taken for granted. Continuously giving without reciprocation may lead to resentment, shown by anger toward those benefiting from your generosity. Burnout, a state of mental and physical exhaustion, is often the result of relentless giving. Low self-esteem, feelings of inadequacy, or exploitation arise when your expectations are unmet, leading to more conflict and emotional distance in relationships. A core principle of Stoic philosophy is to live in accordance with nature and reason, recognizing when circumstances harm your well-being. Seneca wisely said, "The greatest wealth is to live content with little." This means true prosperity comes from being content within yourself, not from worldly possessions or others' approval. Understanding the dynamics of one-sided giving can help you foster healthier relationships grounded in reciprocity, respect, and personal well-being. Lesson 2. Lack of genuine interest. Genuine interaction requires curiosity and empathy from both sides. Relationships grow through shared experiences, open communication, and mutual support. As the Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius said, "The best way to find out if you can trust somebody is to trust them." Trust is a two-way street, with both sides making investments. However, when one person continuously shows a lack of interest in your life, ideas, and emotions, it signals an imbalance in the relationship. While everyone has different levels of extroversion and introversion, a long-term pattern of disengagement is a red flag. This often aligns with an expectation for your complete attention, creating a power imbalance where your needs are consistently ignored. Their experiences, thoughts, and aspirations dominate the relationship, leaving little room for yours. Superficial interest is a false curiosity, reflected by minimal engagement or lack of thoughtful questions about your life, work, or challenges. One-sided support, where you are always giving for the other person's benefit, leads to feelings of alienation and emotional isolation. It can cause low self-esteem as you struggle to see your own value and worth. Anger toward the person benefiting from your efforts may arise, and you might find yourself relying on external validation for self-worth. Relationships strained by growing alienation and detachment emphasize the importance of living in line with nature and reason, a fundamental Stoic principle. According to Stoic philosophy, true connection is built on mutual respect, understanding, and self-sufficiency. It is essential to develop meaningful relationships while remaining independent. Marcus Aurelius also said, "Everything that happens is either endurable or not. If it's endurable, then endure it. If not, then stop it." This teaches us to approach relationships with clarity, recognizing when they no longer serve our well-being. By identifying the signs of a lack of genuine interest, you can maintain your emotional well-being and build relationships based on mutual respect and empathy. Lesson 3. Inconsistent availability. Dependability is the backbone of trust. When people in a relationship can consistently rely on each other, a sense of security and stability grows. However, a lack of consistency can indicate deeper issues within the dynamic. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus advised, "It is not what happens to you that matters, but how you react to it." Relying on others for emotional well-being or personal happiness can be risky, as their unpredictable behavior may leave you vulnerable. A significant change in someone's availability, particularly when it aligns with their needs rather than yours, should prompt a re-evaluation of the relationship. Inconsistent availability often reflects a person's priorities rather than their esteem for you. Selective availability, being absent when you need them but present when they require something, demonstrates this imbalance. Reluctant commitments manifest in difficulty keeping promises or following through with plans. Frequent cancellations, excuses for not being available, or last-minute changes are common, and ignoring calls or messages when they're not the focus of attention is another sign. Emotional inconsistency can also show up as shifting between warmth and apathy, which deeply impacts your emotional well-being and leaves you uncertain about the relationship's stability. This inconsistency breeds uncertainty about your own value and relevance. Over time, resentment may build, leading to emotional instability and trust issues, as you feel you cannot depend on the other person. Stoicism teaches the importance of inner peace and independence. While seeking companionship and support is natural, it is equally important to develop a strong sense of autonomy. Epictetus noted that the most important task in life is to differentiate between what is within our control and what is not. Realizing that you cannot control others' behavior is key to maintaining your mental stability. By recognizing the patterns of inconsistent availability and the emotional toll it takes, you can safeguard your well-being and nurture relationships based on mutual respect, reliability, and trust. Lesson 4. Excessive demands. A solid relationship is built on mutual respect and consideration. Both parties should feel valued and supported without feeling overwhelmed or exploited. A strong sign of imbalance is when one person places unreasonable demands on another's time, energy, or resources. As Seneca wisely said, "It is not the man who has little, but the man who craves more, who is poor." This insight highlights that true prosperity lies in happiness and moderation, not in excessive demands. When someone constantly seeks more from you without considering your limitations, they exhibit a form of emotional poverty. Continuous demands, whether for your time, money, or emotional support, while disregarding your boundaries, indicate a lack of respect. Entitlement leads them to believe they have the right to your resources, and when there's no reciprocity, you're left feeling drained and unsupported. Burnout can result from consistently giving without receiving in return, leaving you mentally and physically exhausted. Frustration and anger may arise, directed at the person making unreasonable demands. Neglecting self-care in favor of others can lead to feelings of inadequacy, exploitation, and a decline in your self-esteem. Relationships characterized by high expectations without mutual respect often result in more conflict and emotional distance. To protect your health and well-being, it's crucial to establish and maintain clear boundaries. Communicating your limits respectfully but firmly is essential. Remember, saying no is not selfish. It's a form of self-preservation. Stoicism emphasizes living in harmony with nature and reason, which means accepting your limitations and setting personal guidelines. Prioritizing your well-being aligns with Stoic values. As Seneca also noted, the greatest wealth is to live content with little. True satisfaction comes from within, not from external possessions or others' approval. Recognizing the warning signs of excessive demands and setting boundaries will help you protect your well-being and foster healthier relationships. Lesson 5. Lack of appreciation. Healthy, meaningful relationships are built on gratitude, the acknowledgement and appreciation of what one has, and the recognition of others' efforts. When gratitude is absent, people may feel undervalued and resentful. As Epictetus wisely remarked, it is not what you suffer that defines you, but how you suffer it. In relationships, disappointment is inevitable, but it is our response to that disappointment that truly matters. When you feel consistently taken for granted, with your efforts going unnoticed, it can lead to feelings of devaluation. Your sacrifices may seem less significant when compared to others, and you might begin to question the importance of your contributions. Emotional distance may develop as a result of this lack of recognition, affecting your mental health. When your efforts are ignored or undervalued, it becomes difficult to stay motivated, and resentment can grow toward the person who fails to appreciate you. Low self-esteem and emotional withdrawal may follow as you start doubting your own worth. Feeling unappreciated increases stress and conflict within the relationship. While it's important to accept that not all efforts will be equally valued, it's also crucial to cultivate gratitude in your own life. By focusing on what you have rather than what you lack, you can regain your sense of contentment. Living in harmony with nature and reason, as Stoicism teaches, includes appreciating the importance of gratitude. By acknowledging the efforts of others, you can foster a sense of community and harmony. Though you cannot control others' behavior, you can control how you respond to it. Developing gratitude helps you maintain emotional stability and build stronger, more fulfilling relationships. Lesson 6. Boundary violations. The foundation of healthy relationships is mutual respect and understanding. One key aspect of this respect is honoring each other's limitations, often referred to as boundaries. These boundaries are invisible lines that define our comfort zones, restrictions, and expectations. They serve to establish our personal standards. When someone consistently violates these limits, it signals a toxic relationship that can erode self-esteem and well-being. As the Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius said, "The best revenge is to live happily." This suggests that focusing on your own peace and well-being is the most powerful response to boundary violations. Instead of seeking retribution, prioritize personal fulfillment and inner peace, which can help you reclaim your power and demonstrate resilience. Violating boundaries can take many forms: negating your preferences or desires, invasion of personal space, emotionally or physically, coercion or manipulation, pressuring you to change your views or actions, oversharing of personal information without permission, verbal abuse such as insults, criticism, or harsh language. When boundaries are consistently ignored, it can deeply impact your psychological and emotional health, resulting in stress and anxiety, feeling constantly on edge, loss of self-esteem, questioning your worth, resentment towards the boundary violator, withdrawal, cutting off emotional or social ties for self-protection, trust issues, making it difficult to rely on others in the future. To safeguard your well-being, it's essential to clearly communicate your needs and expectations, establish clear boundaries, define acceptable behaviors, and enforce consequences when these limits are violated. Engaging in self-care activities that promote resilience and well-being is crucial. Talking to trusted friends or family can provide additional support. Stoic philosophy emphasizes morality, reason, and self-discipline. Setting and maintaining boundaries is a form of self-discipline that shows respect for both yourself and others. By prioritizing your well-being and happiness, you embody the Stoic ideal of living in harmony with nature. Recognizing and addressing boundary violations empowers you to lead a more authentic and fulfilling life. Lesson 7. Guilt tripping. Guilt is a complex emotion that can either promote personal growth or, when misused, become a tool for manipulation. When employed appropriately, guilt can lead to positive change. However, in the hands of a manipulator, guilt can be used as emotional blackmail, controlling and exploiting others. People who engage in guilt tripping often take advantage of the natural human desire to help and care for others. They may exaggerate their needs or hardships, making you feel obligated to support them. This manipulative tactic exploits your empathy and compassion in a deceptive manner. As Epictetus remarked, "What happens to you is not what matters is how you react to it." This highlights the importance of emotional resilience. When confronted with guilt tripping, responding with clarity and assertiveness is essential. Some common tactics of guilt tripping include exaggerating needs to elicit sympathy, victimhood, posing as helpless to induce guilt, silent treatment, withholding affection or communication as punishment, gaslighting, causing you to doubt your perception of reality. Being subjected to guilt tripping can have damaging effects on your mental health, such as loss of self-esteem, feeling inadequate or selfish, resentment, anger directed toward the manipulator, overwhelm, feeling burdened and fatigued by constant giving, difficulty setting boundaries, struggling to assert your needs. To protect yourself from guilt tripping, it's crucial to recognize these tactics and maintain emotional resilience. Develop self-awareness by identifying your own patterns of guilt and shame. Be assertive in expressing your feelings and setting boundaries clearly and concisely. While practicing empathy, it's essential to not compromise your own well-being. Putting your needs and emotional health first is not selfish, but necessary for maintaining healthy relationships. Setting explicit limits on what you're willing to do is key to protecting yourself from manipulation. Recognizing guilt-tripping strategies and building emotional resilience will help you maintain stronger connections and safeguard your mental health. Lesson 8. Emotional blackmail. Emotional blackmail is a particularly insidious form of manipulation where one person uses threats, ultimatums, or guilt to control another's behavior. In this toxic dynamic, one person's emotional well-being is held hostage to manipulate the other. The Stoic philosopher Seneca offers profound insight into this, stating, "It is not because things are difficult that we do not dare, but because we do not dare that things are difficult." This means that often challenges arise not from external circumstances, but from our fear of taking action. In the context of emotional blackmail, the fear of losing the relationship or facing negative consequences can paralyze us, making it difficult to assert our needs and boundaries. Common tactics of emotional blackmail include threats of withdrawal, threatening to end the relationship or withhold affection; ultimatums, demanding compliance with specific conditions or face consequences; guilt and shame, making you feel responsible for the other person's unhappiness; isolation, threatening to cut off contact or social support; gaslighting, making you question your reality to create self-doubt. Being subjected to emotional blackmail can have devastating effects, such as loss of self-esteem, feeling worthless or incapable of making decisions; fear and anxiety, constantly worrying about the other person's reactions; people-pleasing behavior, prioritizing the other person's needs over your own; isolation, withdrawing from social support to preserve the relationship; depression and anxiety, resulting from long-term emotional distress. To break free from the cycle of emotional blackmail, it's essential to develop assertiveness, clearly communicate your boundaries and expectations; self-awareness, recognize your patterns of people-pleasing and fear; self-esteem, develop a strong sense of self-worth; support systems, talk to trusted friends or family about your situation; safety plans, create a plan for leaving the relationship if necessary. Remember, you deserve to be treated with respect and dignity. Emotional blackmail is a form of abuse, and it's vital to prioritize your well-being. By developing assertiveness and setting boundaries, you can reclaim your power and create healthier relationships. Lesson 9. Lack of reciprocity in support. A healthy relationship is defined by a balance of give and take, where both individuals offer emotional support, guidance, and a listening ear. When this balance is disrupted and one person constantly provides without receiving the same degree of support, it's a clear sign of instability in the relationship. Stoic philosopher Epictetus emphasized the importance of recognizing what aspects of life are within our control and what are beyond it. We cannot control the behavior of others, but we can control our own actions and responses. In relationships, this means accepting that we cannot force others to reciprocate our efforts, but we can choose how much we give. Common signs of a lack of reciprocity include unreciprocated assistance, consistently helping someone with their problems without receiving help in return; emotional exhaustion, constant giving without receiving leads to emotional fatigue; feeling overlooked. Despite offering support, your efforts are often dismissed or ignored. This lack of reciprocation can negatively affect mental well-being, manifesting as resentment, growing bitterness towards the person who doesn't reciprocate, low self-esteem, questioning your value and worth in the relationship; emotional burnout, feeling overwhelmed and fatigued from constant giving; emotional withdrawal, creating emotional distance to protect yourself from further harm; increased stress and conflict, as unacknowledged efforts strain the relationship. To maintain healthy relationships, it's important to establish boundaries, make it clear that you expect mutual support, limit your assistance, only offer help that aligns with your own well-being, prioritize self-care. Your emotional state should be your primary concern. Seek alternative support. Build a network outside the imbalanced relationship. Reevaluate the relationship. Consider whether it's wise to continue if the imbalance persists. Remember, you deserve to live in partnerships where you feel valued and supported. By recognizing the signs of an unequal support system and taking steps to foster a more balanced dynamic, you can safeguard your emotional well-being and form stronger, healthier relationships. Lesson 10. Focus on your flaws. Constructive criticism offers valuable opportunities for personal growth and improvement. However, when criticism becomes constant and overwhelming, it can undermine self-esteem and lead to a negative self-image. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "Men are disturbed not by things, but by the views they take of things." This highlights how our interpretation of external events influences our emotional state more than the events themselves. Constant criticism forces us to confront our own perceptions and beliefs about who we are. Some common signs of unhealthy criticism include constant negativity, a persistent focus on your flaws and shortcomings, lack of appreciation, ignoring your accomplishments and positive traits, public humiliation, criticizing you in front of others to belittle you, gaslighting, undermining your confidence by distorting your perception of reality, unrealistic expectations, setting standards that are difficult or impossible to meet. The effects of relentless criticism can severely impact your sense of self-worth, low self-esteem, leading to feelings of inadequacy and unworthiness, anxiety and depression, marked by hopelessness and despair, people-pleasing behavior, constantly seeking approval to avoid criticism, isolation, withdrawing from social situations to protect yourself, lack of trust in your judgment, leading to difficulty making decisions. Building resilience is key to protecting your sense of self-worth from critical comments. Some strategies include self-compassion. Show yourself warmth and empathy, even in the face of criticism. Challenging negative thoughts. Question the accuracy of critical remarks. Focusing on strengths. Recognize and celebrate your abilities and achievements. Setting boundaries. Limit your exposure to overly critical individuals. Seeking support. Surround yourself with positive and encouraging people. Remember, your worth is not determined by the opinions of others. By cultivating self-compassion and resilience, you can strengthen your sense of self-worth and face criticism with confidence. Lesson 11. Sudden changes in behavior. Consistency is the cornerstone of trust in any relationship. If someone's behavior toward you changes significantly and without explanation, it's important to approach the situation with care, as there may be underlying issues or a lack of genuineness. The Stoic philosopher Seneca remarked, "It is not what you suffer, but how you suffer it." This implies that our resilience and strength come from how we respond to challenges, rather than the challenges themselves. When faced with erratic behavior, maintaining emotional balance and addressing the issue with clarity is crucial. Some signs of sudden changes in behavior include dramatic mood swings, sudden shifts between affection and apathy, inconsistent communication, alternating between openness and isolation, unreliable behavior, breaking promises or neglecting commitments, secretive actions, withholding information or becoming evasive, dishonesty, noticeable inconsistencies or outright lies. A sudden change in behavior can create feelings of uncertainty and instability, leading to confusion and anxiety as you struggle to understand the other person's actions. Trust issues, as the reliability and integrity of the relationship come into question. Emotional turmoil, with rapid shifts in mood and emotions. Low self-esteem, as you may feel inadequate or responsible for the other person's behavior. Isolation, withdrawing from social interactions to protect yourself. To address these issues, consider the following steps. Open communication. Express your concerns while remaining calm and composed. Set boundaries. Clearly define acceptable behavior and communicate your limits. Seek support. Talk to trusted friends or family members for advice and perspective. Trust your intuition. Pay attention to your gut feelings and trust your instincts. Evaluate the relationship. Assess whether the relationship is healthy and beneficial for both parties. Remember, you deserve consistent and respectful treatment. If someone's behavior is causing you emotional distress, prioritize your well-being. By engaging in open communication and setting clear boundaries, you can protect yourself and foster healthier connections. Applying Stoic principles can help you develop sound judgment and avoid being taken advantage of, ultimately building relationships founded on mutual respect and care.